And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we begin a Tuesday. And what I'm going to tell you may make you want to just stay home today. If you hadn't opened your door yet, it's a nice, cool, crisp 57 degrees outside this morning. Isn't that wonderful? It really and truly feels like a fall morning right now. Won't change much as we'll get to a high a little bit later of about 84 with sunshine. Just beautiful weather laid out for us today. Now, we'll get into your forecast here in a moment to let you know what is expected for the rest of the week and into the weekend. But boy, can you beat that? 57. Almost feels like you're in the Smoky Mountains or something. Our dream vacation. Hope you're doing well today and you got a smile as we face this. Let's just take a look at what radar has to deal with us today, is dealing us today. As we turn to Meridian Honda radar and pull this up, we see that Mississippi all clear at the present time. We have a little bit of showers here off the coast of Biloxi here in the Gulf, and we've got a little bit of fog up here northeast of Birmingham through Gadsden. If you're going to be passing the Rocket up there near Huntsville, Alabama, headed toward Nash Vegas, you'll get into a little bit of fog in those areas. Also, a lot of fog in Knoxville as you make your way up toward Charleston, West Virginia, in those areas there. Always foggy the further you go there. Pittsburgh, we also got some, and a few showers in Detroit. If you're going to Motor City today, as we look across Nevada, still some showers there. Had some thunderstorm activity there near Las Vegas last night. Some thunderstorm warnings there. Portland got a little bit of fog there in Oregon as well, but overall nothing major. And we'll get into here in just a little bit and show you what's going on with the Atlantic, what is brewing out there. We hadn't had anything major come near us. We've had 2 named hurricanes so far. We've got 2 systems out there. We'll see what they're doing. All that's up and coming. And as always, that will update a little bit after 8 a.m. this morning with the National Weather Service. But we'll give you what we've got right now as we begin your day. As we look about, wanted to bring this up also. We have someone missing. Let me hit this button. As we go to Harrison County, Mississippi, a gentleman that is missing this morning that they are looking for. He's 90 years old, Billy Hollingsworth of Saucer, Harrison County, Mississippi. If you happen to know where he is, they would certainly love to know and get him back to friends and family. That is coming out this morning from MBI of a missing person. We'll watch that closely to let you know. We did have a mention of a break-in overnight of someone that had a window broken out. Someone tried to gain entry into their home. We would go to the 27th Avenue block. Let's pull this up here so you can take a look. In this area here, this is going to be 8th Street, just due north. In this general area here, due south of 11th Street. A window broken into and someone taking a few things that, well, wasn't theirs from their home. Awful that we even have to report that, but it does happen. Now, I'm sure that there was more last night, but that is the only one that I have been told about so far this morning as we look at this. Also, a overnight wreck happened on Highway 11 and 80 as you were sleeping out near Russell Christian Academy. We have to go to the 1800 block, right around Russell Christian Academy there. A car accident here last night, right along in here is where it happened. I don't think it was any major injuries, but someone needed a little medical attention with a fender bender that happened there. Nothing major. That's the good news to report on that. No loss of life when accidents happen. Wrecks are scary. I don't care how you are. Even if it's small, and I've never been hit by one, but I've been told. How many of you ever had one of those airbags fly at you? I hear they're not pleasant. They come out screaming past you. Will bloody your nose or so. You have to kind of block yourself when they come. We also had what I would call a extreme wreck yesterday afternoon. It could have been a lot worse, but boy, traffic was held up for a little over an hour out near Southeast School as we had a rollover. I believe it was a total of 3 cars involved. As we go back to Facebook to pull this up here, as we first mentioned this, it was a wreck rollover, and as we take a look at this, as we get pictures, let me zoom this up a little bit. As you can see, there's a car upside down there. They got clipped. Spun it over, and upside down it went. There's another angle there at the red light as we come across here, and it looks to be a Toyota, I think, that is damaged there in the front end. Several cars were hit and thrown about, and it did delay traffic for a little over an hour there. It was backed up. A very, very tough intersection there. And if y'all remember, what was it, a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, we've had a loss of life at that intersection. It's a bad one. you come over that hill if you're going that way, and there'd be no way to stop. For instance, a big truck, it would be hard to stop one of those. Always be careful if you're in that area out in the Southeast School. If you're taking a right coming from the Dollar General, any of those areas, be careful. Let's see here. We got this. I got word of it, and it took me a little bit to verify it. I got in touch with Chief Deputy Ward Calhoun to verify that I knew what I was talking about. This was sent to me in an inbox and said, "Did you know anything about this?" Well, at the time, I didn't. And as I dug deeper in this, and I got in touch with Ward, sure enough, it did happen. As we go to Sam Media, now this would take place on Lizia Road. And let's click on this here. Let me show you this, where it meets Old Country Club Road. Right here, this is Lizia, and this is Van Zyverden Road. Of course, this road here, if you take this, goes up to Confederate Drive. But right here, in the corner here, there was a shooting. Yeah, multiple shots were fired, and this would be on Sunday afternoon. As we dig deeper into this, a homeowner was confronted by two people that walked up in his yard. Next thing you know, a hail of bullets began. A home would be struck. A mobile home would also be struck, and a car would be struck with bullets. They're still investigating this. It's an ongoing one. Now, somehow, in all the bullets flying, no one was injured. Can you believe that? But they did manage to strike a car, a house, and a mobile home. But again, this is Lizia Road, just on the outskirts of Marion as you head toward Van Zyverden, Northeast School, in that area. That's where you would find all of that action. Again, this was Sunday afternoon when that happened. Again, it took me a little bit to get all the details. We try to be 100% certain before we mention something has happened, before I throw it out there. But that did happen. Not a rumor. Somehow, no one was hurt. Hard to believe, isn't it? I would never be that lucky if I would be a sitting target. Whew. We go to Clark County next, and they are looking for someone. As we go here to take a look, we find this from our friends down at Clark County Hot Topics, as they tell us that the Clark County Sheriff's Department is wanting someone. There he is, Mr. Anthony Scott Robinson. He is wanted for false pretense. He's frequent in between Clark County and Melvin, Alabama. If you've seen him, get in touch with the Clark County Sheriff's Office. They would be glad to go pick this gentleman up and have a little chat with him, give him a free ride downtown. Now, also, we want to remind you of this. This will throw a rump row into your plans of how you go about. And I'll read this because it will interfere with your travels. There's no doubt. As we all know, we're crossroads in Meridian, like you're going to Sam's. The bridge that they've been working on. Remember a few weeks back when, maybe a month or so ago, when a City of Meridian truck hit the top of the bridge, slowed traffic. That bridge is what I'm talking about. Let's go to Sam Media as they look for a temporary closure. That's planned there. 1939 is what they call that, where it kind of meets underneath that bridge. It will begin tomorrow. Now, how it works, and I'll just read you here what the DOT has told us. It will begin at midnight on September the 14th and is expected to be closed for 3 weeks. Now, that's quite a time. 1939 northbound lane only underneath Interstate 2059. That's exit 154B, that last exit there. Motorists are advised to use the signed detour that will be in place for the duration of the closure. The signed detour directs traffic to use I-2059 eastbound to the Jimmy Rogers Parkway exit 156, and you would have to circle back and come back to get off on the side there by the Drury Inn. You'd have to go up, turn around, and come back. Yeah, that will be a little bit of an inconvenience, if you know what I'm talking about. Instead of getting off at the Sam's exit, you'll have to go up, circle across the bridge, and come back down to go underneath that bridge. Woof. Yeah, just letting you know. You might want to try to figure another route that may be quicker for you, whichever way. But if you're wanting to get across town there, it's going to be a little mess there for quite a while there. 3 weeks as they work on that. And again, we'll remind you of this. I don't want that one to catch you off guard. There's nothing worse than being in a hurry and you pull up there and you can't go. And then you realize you've got to go 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes out of the way to make that loop to come back. I hadn't timed it. That's just a guesstimation. Well, we had an accident yesterday on 18th Avenue. Now, you go 18th Avenue, where am I at? Well, if you were coming from Frontage Road past McDonald's, go over the bridge. You know where I'm at? Going toward Rush Hospital, up in that area there. Right here, where the insurance place used to be, the State Farm, where the barber shop is now. Right there is where the accident happened yesterday. Small accident with injuries as volunteer fire department. Actually, the fire department arrived to help out those that were injured and got them all taken care of along with Metro. Now, another thing that went on yesterday, this was a mess. This shut down Highway 19, or you want to call it Airport Boulevard. Maybe you still call it Highway 11. It's had numerous names, but if you get off the interstate at Waters International and you try to go toward McDonald's at College Park, well, you couldn't yesterday. Right there in front of Meridian Cycles, what happened? Whoops, a city truck knocked down power lines. How did that happen? Most likely a boom was left up, and that will take down power lines. Second time, if you're counting, of an incident with a city truck. Time for a little training, isn't it? I used to teach those classes. And this is what happened here. Power lines were down, and it was held up for quite some time. Let's look at this, how it was shut down. Let me zoom in on this so you can see this a little bit more. Right here, this is Waters International. It was blocked off from there all the way up to pass. It happened right here around Meridian Cycles in that area there. And it was blocked off up here at 5th Street. Couldn't go either way because power lines were down in those areas there as power crews, Mississippi Power, came to the rescue to restore all of that. Well, with each time with an employee that does something like that, it's always a drug test done, no matter what, when it comes to power lines. Safety, safety, safety. Always know the height of your vehicle and what you're doing. I'll leave it at that. I think y'all can fill in the blanks on the rest of that. But that did happen yesterday. Wanted to mention a homecoming. If you've got a PSA, please let us know about it. Something going on in your community. Pleasant Grove, let's pull this up. You can see this is going to be having their homecoming. A good deal for them. It's going to be September the 25th. They're going to have the Reverend John Tucker there, the fellowship meal, and worship afterwards there. They'll have the meal after the worship. It's always a little key thing there. You got to listen to get the food. It's going to be there on Stevens Road in Bailey, Mississippi. It'll be a good time for all. I hope you can make it out. Nothing like a homecoming. It's always great food, and I joked about that, but y'all know that. It's always some ladies that have some of the best food that you can put your teeth into. I'm sure there's some fellows that know how to cook. I'm just one of those that can cook absolutely nothing. I'm horrible at it. I can't even crack an egg without getting it everywhere. I've tried, trust me. Poplarville getting ready, and they've declared this Chapel Heart Week. As we all know, the girls there are trying to win America's Got Talent. We certainly hope that they win this, and they're going to be having a big get-together there as they announce who wins. So we hope they win and represent Mississippi as they try to fill up the football stadium there, as they'll cut to that live back there. There may even be a watch party happening here in Meridian. I'll try to ask about that in a little bit. We hope so, as Mississippi is proud for them. Now, I remember mentioning this when it happened. Along the Gulf Coast, there was a man back in 21 that, for whatever reason, kept trying to set Walmarts on fire. Yeah, he did do that. He's pleaded guilty in court finally to this. For a string of these, he's going to get 5 years in federal prison. After that, they'll watch him for 3 years. He got along the lines of this being a commerce trade that he was trying to interfere with. No word as to why he was doing it. It almost sounds like maybe he may have worked there at some point and had a rift against Walmart. You never know with people of what they're thinking and what they do. Just odd. Good morning, Kathy. Glad to see you there. Miss LaWanda is up. And as LaWanda said, it's always a traffic jam right there around 20 during lunchtime. If y'all go that way, y'all know how that is. And boy, if you've got to get lunch and be back somewhere at a certain time, that will cause some problems there. We have just no other way to word this, Gulfport, Mississippi. They arrested another man for what? Child porn charges. Doing things he shouldn't. A 23-year-old man has been arrested, and we'll leave it at that. I hate to even report these. Now, as I've mentioned before, there's criminals, and then there's those criminals that cross like the imaginary line that criminals should never do. And what is that line? To me, that's going near a church or doing anything to harm children. Well, they done it in Kosciuszko. Went right up to the church and, well, cut catalytic converters off. Kosciuszko looking for the thieves as we speak. We do hope they catch them and lock them away. And that is back on the rise once again. As prices get higher, inflation gets higher, they're out there looking for a quick buck. It could happen to anyone. Don't think that you're immune to a thief, because they can, and they will. We have to give a that a boy this morning. If y'all remember this was not all that long ago. I believe it was August 31st. Union, Mississippi, there on Highway 15, there was a wreck one afternoon that had 4 ladies in a car. It was a single vehicle accident. They ran off the road and hit a tree. They have 2 officers that are being hailed as heroes for their work that day, and we congratulate them on that. We need more folks like this. Sergeant Blake Hedrick and Staff Sergeant Eric McElhaney. They went above and beyond the call of duty to help those 4 ladies, and we certainly thank them for all they did. So a big thank you to them as they work for the Mississippi Department of Public Safety and Commercial Transportation. Do a lot of hard work there, and if it weren't for folks like that, some of us wouldn't make it. They'll come to the rescue. It can happen to anyone. Wrecks can happen just like that. And I hope you're not one of those in those statistics. This week we got sunshine. Not near as many little fender benders during weather like this, which is good. I mentioned in the comments this morning, and this is great. If you've never met this man, I'll tell you he is everything that you've ever seen on TV. That he's as nice a Southern gentleman as you can absolutely be. And who am I talking about? Morgan Freeman. A few years ago, Debbie and I had a chance to spend a day or 2 with him. I can't remember how long it was. I think it was a couple of days. And I'm telling you, above and beyond, as nice as they come. Very humble when people approach him to ask him for an autograph, to get a picture. He is everything that you've ever seen. He is that man. And the city of Natchez, Mississippi, have given him the key to the city. They've been there filming. There's a new show coming out on the History Channel called Great Escapes with Morgan Freeman. And they travel through the town and look around, and he narrates it. And he did come down for a filming, and they presented him with the key to the city. Morgan is just that nice. And again, if you've ever wondered if somebody's nice as they seem, he is. Morgan, I give you a thumbs up. I like you a lot, my friend. Let's see here. Criminals. Let's touch on one more of these. Let's go to Alcorn, Mississippi, the county of Alcorn. Fire departments, especially volunteer fire departments, work hard. You see all these pancake cookings to raise money to buy all this extra stuff. Now, they do get a little money from the county and city government to buy things. One of their trucks was stolen this weekend that carries all their gear. If you happen to see a strange truck with a bunch of gear that has volunteer fire department written on the side of it anywhere near Alcorn, Mississippi, contact the sheriff's department. They sure would like to have their truck back. As we look at other news that's happened around here, and this is so sad, it bothers me to no end when you've got somebody that is working for a living, trying to make ends meet, and then you have a criminal come in and disrupt that. Tupelo, Mississippi is where we go next, as police are looking, where they've made an arrest in this, actually. A convenience store clerk was working. As we all know, it doesn't pay the most. Trying to make a living, get by. A man entered the store and shot the clerk in the head. He's been arrested. Chris Copeland, 26 of Tupelo, has been taken into custody. What a shame. No word yet on how the gunshot victim is doing. Was rushed to the hospital. Anytime that you're shot in the head, it's not good. All trying to make a living. Same as a police officer of anyone. Actually, nothing is the greatest paying jobs anymore. We're all just trying to get by. And to have someone do that, it's just awful. As you well know, most likely has a family, somebody that depends upon them. It can't work now. All because of somebody being lazy, wanting to take something that wasn't theirs and harmed someone else. Awful. I hate to even tell you these things happen in our state, but they do. We go across that line, not far from here. If you go due north of here, and we cross that line into Tennessee, Memphis is where I'm talking about, they found a DUI suspect passed out at the wheel. Well, that's not uncommon. That happens a lot. The sad part is, in the back seat sat a 1-year-old child. Child custody has been called in to look the matter over. Right across the line, Jackson, Mississippi, right to our west from there is Louisiana. In a Jackson motel this week, they made an arrest of a rape victim from Louisiana that was running from the law. They've made an arrest. That's good news. I look at the New York Post this morning at some of their headlines, and I thought I'd just bring up a couple that I did see today. The New York Post says it's very clear that during the election that some Democrats pressured the FDA to delay the COVID vaccine to hurt Trump's chances of winning. Now, that's bad when politics gets involved with people's health. Don't you agree? I do. There's no telling what we really don't know happened, is it? Bothers you. Well, as we look at what's happening across the pond, the Queen, it was an uproar online. What am I talking about? Is the Queen's body, and you see it here. I wouldn't think much about it, but they did remove it pretty quickly. And as the body of the Queen was going down the road, there was a sticker on the side of the hearse, what you'd call a clear background of the funeral home, on the window where her body laid, where you could see it through it. Critics quickly jumped on the funeral home for having that, and by the time it made it to its next red light, it had been removed. So they do pay attention to what's online and what people are saying. That's some of the headlines that are making their way across America this morning. We got your forecast next. Here we'll find out what's going on locally, all these good things. Y'all don't rush off. We got that on the way here this morning as we bring you another day. As the days get hotter, Sanders Gas reminds you to get your air conditioner tuned up. Sanders Gas can repair or replace your whole unit, whichever you need. Talk to Sanders about a tankless water heater now and never run out of hot water. Find out how easy and affordable it is to cook on gas stoves. And those backyard barbecues are coming. Don't run out of gas. Get yours refilled today. Sanders Gas, since 1946, 611 26th Avenue South. 601-693-4054. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Karen made a comment, and maybe I mispronounced it. Maybe I said it wrong here a moment ago. You'd ask about the rape victim. No, it was the person that was the rapist from Louisiana had crossed into Jackson, Mississippi, and they arrested him at a motel he was hiding out. So if I said that unright, and I could have. Sometimes I get tongue twisted there and say it wrong. But it was the person who had raped someone in Louisiana had made their way to Mississippi that got arrested. So hopefully I can clear that up for what I said if I said it wrong there. Good morning to you. As I said, it's cool. 57 right now as we begin our day. And let's get into the forecast and find out what it has to offer. It's going to be a great day.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As usual, we go back and look at our record highs and all. 2019, it was a hot day. Some 3 years ago, 102 on this date. Woof. Back in 1940, it was even a little cooler than it is this morning. A low of 45 was set back in 1940. Some few years ago, wasn't it? Now, this is what we've got laid out for today. Sunshine in 84 Meridian, a little warmer for our friends in Philadelphia up through Tucker. Y'all make it to 85 as we head on toward Columbus through Louisville, Starkville, those areas, around 84 today. To our south, Hattiesburg will see 85, and a little warmer in Natchez, 86 today. Even you'll see that in Vicksburg as well. As we cross that Bama state line, we'll see 82 in Demopolis, most likely about 83 there in Livingston, Alabama, and carries on through Tuscaloosa, and 82 Birmingham in the big city if you've got to be crossing through there on 5920 at any point today. As we look at what's coming, a little bit warmer weather now, but look out to our west there. Cooler weather way back there. Ooh, another month is coming. We're almost halfway through the month already. I'm ready for cooler weather, and I'm sure you are. Today is just a little sample of that. Now, here's our forecast of what we've got laid out today from the National Weather Service as we look at this. Today, sunshine high of 84, down tonight, down to about 58 degrees, really close to what we have this morning. By tomorrow, sunshine and 88. We'll jump about 5 degrees tomorrow at least, depending on where you're at, 87, 88. Tomorrow night, we get down to, 60, not as cool. And by Thursday, 86, and we'll steady for the rest of the week at at 86, and lows will be, well, roughly about 10 degrees warmer as we get toward the weekend, where we're sitting at 57, 58 this morning. We're looking at overnight lows to be about 67, 68 all the way through Monday. But sunny, look at this, great weather. Now, let's move on through the 27th of what we have laid out for the month. Almost toward the end of the month there, isn't it? We get up warm as we see this warm front moving across, as we showed you on the map a minute ago. 90, 88s, all in that upper temperature there, but sunshine for the most part. Then about the 26th, that cold front starts moving back in, and we start seeing temperatures dip to the lower 80s. 84 there on the 26th, and by the 27th, we'll see 81 degrees once again. Boy, that sure feels good. Can't wait for that. Now, what is happening with the tropics? We have two systems that are developing. As we look at this, we pulled this up this morning to see what the National Hurricane Center has for us. Two of these off the coast of Africa. Now, it's still early, but this, at this point, could affect Florida at some point. Now, it still could change and come into the Gulf, but most likely at this point, early signs are showing there's some rain coming to that western side here of Florida. We'll watch this over the next few days. And again, this can change of what we've got. Nothing major has happened, but we've got till November the 1st for hurricane season for all to happen. And don't forget, right after that, what happens? Well, we have that little tornado season once again, the fall round of that. We always do. I want you to be careful and remember that. Now, as we look at our fishing forecast today, Chet's Paint and Body tells us the best time to head out today was early. Right there about 5:30 this morning. You've got a second shot at this afternoon. Let's call it 4 o'clock. 4 to 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Anytime that you can get off work and we'll head out, it'd be pretty good. The wind's going to be light north wind, becoming north-northeast, 5 to 10 this morning. So if you're watching all of that, want to know how to cast, that's what you got lined up. That's a quick look at what we've got scattered around this morning. And it is a wonderful feeling outside. I'm sure a few of you have cracked your door this morning and felt it. And if you haven't, do so. Enjoy it. Have a cup of coffee on the front porch before you head out. It's peaceful. Makes you feel good about yourself. More on the way, as Candace will be back this morning. She's back from her UFO convention. We'll see her beginning at 8. I hope you'll join us and be a part of this morning's show. We'll be live here on Facebook, YouTube, also on Twitter, and we'll join the rest of everyone else on television as well. Fox 30, that's the place to be. Any way that you can watch us, we do appreciate it. Follow us, join us, make sure you're a part of what goes on in the Meridian area across Mississippi right here. We appreciate you. We'll see you soon as we begin your day here at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: